Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Coffeys.
Debut.
For YouTube.
We're going to try it. Want to see, took some convincing, pull some hair, do what I could. We're going to try it. So some of you that are following us on, for our podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google, you've already heard our intro, or hopefully you have. If not, here you go. We'll give it to you right here. So we're just going to quickly do a little intro about us, what we're trying to accomplish, and hopefully in the meantime convince her to do some more videos. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me one way or the other, but
well, I just hate pictures and videos in general, so
we're gonna try.
Yeah, working my way through it.
She's gonna do it. She'll look back and I'll convince her how beautiful she looks and everything's perfectly fine. So, but if there's some keyboard warriors out there watching this and you got something to say, shut up. Okay, just don't do it. Some people take some comments to heart, so just don't. Be kind.
Right. But we need kindness in this world.
We do. Little backstory. So I moved here from Michigan to North Carolina, 6th grade. You were born in, I'll let her speak. We're good about this.
The Lord is letting me speak.
The Lord is going to let her speak. But moved here when I was in the 6th grade, I think. And you have been here
my whole life. I was born and raised here. We have, the beautiful mountains 2 hours away and the ocean about 3.5 hours away. There's no reason to move. We have everything we need right here in this state.
Yep.
I love to travel, but definitely love this state.
So that's where she was born and raised, here in North Carolina. We met in middle school.
1996.
96, that was a good year.
Right, yeah.
Not as good as 99, but 96 was a good year. 98 was good too. But nonetheless, we met in middle school, all the way through high school.
Snatched him up right away as soon as he got here.
Yep, just couldn't resist. I can't blame her.
So handsome.
And then from there, had a son right when we were out of high school. Had our first child, who is now in the military, old enough. He's got his own family. He's got a wife. So he's doing his thing. And we also have a child getting ready to go to middle school next year. So we have a 10-year age gap between the two. And
it's like having two only children.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah, so, and they're total opposites.
Yep, polar opposite. Our boy one, we'll call him. Boy one is, that's what I call him anyway. Boy one, boy two.
He has him in his phone like that.
He is.
Kind of weird, but whatever.
It's our thing. He's a methodical thinker. Camden is the personality of 4 or 5 kids. So. That's the difference.
His nickname around here is Hurricane Camden.
Lives up to it.
Yeah, he does. He comes home from school. He will, chuck his book bag here and his shoes there.
But we love it. He's his own kid. Both of them are their own. That's how we raised them. But had some. So that's kind of the backstory. Met in middle school. Got married. 18 years old. That's when we had our first child. From there, you could imagine the trials and just growing up with a child, trying to figure each other out still during that time period. But it was one of those things we had to figure it out. And I think what we did well was we figured it out together, leaned on each other for that stuff.
Yeah.
Our upbringings were they're different. We had to lean on each other. I'm not trying to say anything negative about parents or anything like that. Not at all. My mom loved me, father loved, but we had to rely on each other to do most of everything. We had to rely on each other to do it all.
And for me, my home life wasn't as sparkly as most kids. So I grew up with a mother and father that wasn't necessarily always present. So I did a lot of growing up on my own, and had 3 younger brothers. So
you were ready for motherhood right away.
And it's funny that you say that, because I actually felt more confident when I was younger to have a child than all those years later, struggling through all of the infertility,
right,
and then having a child at 30. I felt
different times too.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I could,
yeah. But I guess you're older and wiser, and maybe you think about more things, or you're worried about more things. So
probably,
yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah.
But during that time of the 10 years of waiting, it was anguish. It was heartache. Trying, lots of crying, trying. And the doctor's telling us it's never going to happen. To the point where we decided to adopt, had to take the classes, had to foster first, and then as we were going through them classes, that's when we found out she was pregnant with Camden, boy two, that she was pregnant. And during that time, we were battling, we were going through a ton of
major life changes.
Yeah. So at that point, when we were that's after the doctor said it's not going to happen, we were in the adopting phase. We just, at that time, we got heavily involved in God, finding God. And at that point, we were just like, you know what, we're going to let go, let God. And boom, Camden, was ready to come. So,
right.
But those are just some of the trials that we've had to endure. Very small amount of stuff that we've had to go through. So we've been through it, and we have always leaned on each other. So I say all of that to say this: the reason that we're decided to do this podcast was what's the staggering statistics of.
So the divorce rate is up to almost 75%, I believe. A few years ago, it was 50% or a little more, and now it's up to 75%. So
it's too much.
Yeah,
that is way too high.
Yeah, I feel like
the value of marriage is not what it's supposed to be,
and it's decreasing by the day. I mean, people are getting a divorce because they had a tough argument, or they can't find common ground.
Right.
I mean, that's not a reason to get a divorce.
It's not.
You took a vow before God to honor and love sickness and health and all those things. And I feel like people just don't take it serious anymore, and it's sad. And we are here to encourage and inspire whoever will listen.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the whole point behind this. It's we're not perfect. We've got years. We lean on other people when we're struggling with stuff just to get advice. I listen to other people, but ultimately we talk, and we try to figure out the best way to talk, which probably the number one problem we had growing at those early years. Once you can finally figure out how to talk to each other, it's life-changing, and for the relationship alone, just being able to have conversations. So that's why we wanted to do this, kind of give our tidbits of info of how you might be able to better talk to each other. Right. But we're not trying to be serious all the time. I'm not a serious person.
He's not usually.
Ever. I'm a light high. I like to make it
well, and I think
light as possible.
Yeah, that makes it fun too. Just finding a fun and humorous way to get through life, get through challenges, get through maybe not the so good days.
Yep.
Just find a way to laugh about it, or to get through it, or make someone else smile. I mean, yeah, it's worth it. Wake up and choose each day to love and cherish each other, and I feel like that's half the battle. It really is. Just your attitude, your perspective, definitely.
And that's what we want to. So we have been talking about doing this for over a year, right? Ish. And it wasn't one of those. I was telling as we were talking about it, I'm like, I don't want to just straight relationship stuff, husband and wife. So I was like, if we're gonna do this, let's do it right, and let's open up us to y'all, just so
not scary at all.
No, right. So I was, I said, if we're gonna do this, I mean, we're just real people. We're not fake in any way. I can't even perceive myself to be fake. I can't even make myself fake. So I said, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna be us. It's gonna be. I want them to know who we are, where we're coming from a place of love, not to judge. Just
Right.
Some people are gonna have some real questions, and we want those people to be able to ask those questions to us. So we need to show our real selves to be able to do that. So that was kind of. That's when I was like, you know what? If we're gonna do this, let's do it the right way. So it's not gonna be serious
in front of the camera, y'all.
In front of the camera. So it's not gonna be serious all the time. I mean, find us on our Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google. Like, you'll see our podcasts, it's different episodes for different things, just of how we're feeling. There's a beach episode, where we're just us two, and how the importance we felt of being out and alone.
Reconnecting.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a communication one, financial, things that we learned growing up. Not like, hey, this is how you do your freaking taxes. So I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now, that's not what, we're not doing a podcast on, an Excel sheet of what you should, but it's just like, hey, this is stuff we struggled with. This is what we figured out, the best approach, stuff like that.
This is our what we've learned, and the tips and tricks that we would love to pass on to you guys. And if you have any to share with us, that'd be great. I mean, I'm always learning. I love to learn new things. So
all the time.
Please share with us.
So
thanks for tuning in. We hope that you will come back and visit us again. And
I'm gonna convince her to do another
episode.
Yeah. If you like this, and we notice, hey, we're getting a strong following from a YouTube video, then I think it's kind of at that point, it's a no-brainer.
He's gonna make me do it either way.
So I would love to be able to put the freaking podcasts on here from our previous episodes, but I don't have the time and patience. I don't. So I just said, you know what? Let's just do a video about basically another intro of doing it. So, but if this thing takes off on YouTube, I think we're just gonna have to. We'll still do the podcast. We'll just, it's easier to do a video and pluck the audio from it, put it on a podcast. But
yes,
if this takes off, you'll be seeing our faces.
These mugs,
beautiful mugs. But. Thank you guys. Appreciate the support. Those of you that are following us on podcast, it's doing really well. Better than we thought it would in this early of a stage.
Super excited about that.
And all the feedback is Mike's hilarious. Mike, you're awesome. Mike, you make this podcast. No, I'm just playing.
And I probably need to speak up more or talk louder. But this video thing, I'm finding it hard not to stare at you while you're talking.
I could find it hard. It's hard to not stare at you too. Better cut this off, y'all. So thank you, and look forward to doing another one. I hope, but if not, we will. I know us, and we will. But get over there, check out our podcast, Conversations with Coffeys.
Yes.
Check us out, find us.
Like us, subscribe, click the buttons.
We did this earlier. If you guys don't know that you need to like, share, subscribe, you're living under a rock.
But you have to tell people.
I don't think we have to tell them. It's a given. It's a given.
Really? Yeah. Well, we had to tell kids they can't eat Tide Pods, so that's the world we're living in.
Like, share, subscribe.